Everybody, we're going out for cake at Whiskey Cake, and I've got a cake shirt on, so that should be reason enough to do a stream. Why not? We're going to stream from the car all the way to Whiskey Cake, and we're going to stream at the Whiskey Cake. And we're doing this because, why not? Just stop us. Here you want to see my beautiful wife, my beautiful girl, Lindsay.
Hello.
And her disabled husband. So here in Dallas, we have a place called Whiskey Cake. They sell many things. They sell many kinds of food. They sell drinks and alcohol, but they also sell whiskey cake,
Amazing.
which might not sound like much, but it's truly an amazing thing to behold and to taste. It's not cake that's really made of whiskey. It's made with whiskey.
What made me drunker? The alcohol is like feeling relief.
I don't know. We got good news at our distillery today, so we're celebrating with a piece of cake. We can only eat a piece of cake between the two of us, so.
We should have great.
And we're inviting everyone along for the ride. I didn't advertise streaming anything, so it doesn't surprise me when no one shows up or sees it. I don't really care. Just documenting this day, maybe, for my daughters to see one day. Who knows? We're in Irving, Texas, driving to the rich part of Irvington called Las Colinas. I don't know why it's technically a separate place. It's not. It's in the Irvington limits. They have their own police department and such. It's really weird. That good old-fashioned American leadership showing. I'm trying to think what's the best way to go there. Probably not taking Garth or anything. It's on Beltline.
Yeah.
We'll take Beltline now.
Alright.
Beltline South, not Beltline North.
Oh, Christy and Bruce's.
I guess at this point, this stream is more like a home movie than it is like a stream, really. But making home movies on YouTube in a lot of ways is a lot better than making them on your old camcorder or whatever, because then people can watch them at their leisure. You don't have to confine a bunch of people to your living room and make them watch your home movies and stuff like that. It's a better way of handling things, probably. You can see all the we have like homeless people like this on every corner around here. And here's the monthly or bi-monthly circus carnival thing that comes through. This thing is literally here every 2 to 3 weeks, every 2 to 3 months, I mean. And it just has typical carnival rides, funnel cake, whatever. But they make the round around the city. They never leave the city. Like one week they're over here in Irving, and they tear down, they set up, and the next week they're in a part of the city, and they do that all year long. So they're like perpetual carnies. They have no time off. Seems like being a carny would be one of those things that would have like that, like that teacher kind of like incentive of like to get summers off, something like that. So like carnies should have like their off season, but apparently not these. It does not matter if it is cold as shit or hot as shit. They will show up every 2 to 3 months. It's not always an exact amount, but but if you drive around the city when they're not here, they'll be somewhere else. If anyone does want to come up or talk or anything like that, you're welcome to. Just tell me and I'll drop the StreamYard link. I don't expect anybody to be watching this, so that's why I didn't put it up yet. But if you do happen to swim across the stream, you want to come in, you want to talk, something like that. If you a homie, you're welcome. Here's a thrift store we bought a lot of clothes. I used to do a lot of resale stuff from there. Find stuff like Burberry shirts and stuff there. Yeah. That's no perfect. I think you're filling it up. You need to fill it up like halfway. You're only putting like a little bit in there at a time. You need to fill it like halfway. That way the chances of like soaking the off. Irving's not like really my favorite part of Dallas per se. Pretty chill. Oh, I got a phone call. Bandwidth decline. Don't say spam risk on them, or don't say that they're spam calls. And if they're not, then they could be from disability or something like that. We have to keep an eye on that shit. So, like 3 of our calls today are actually from disability, but and we've had a ton of calls that don't say anything but spam. And they are. It's always like something like, what was the last? I think the last one. The last one I got a call from a woman. She said they were from like the Free Money Corporation or some shit like that. Like what the fuck? I was like, yeah, that's a scam. You're a scam person. Don't put me on your list. And they just hung up. First, they won't take you off the list. They never do. They're not even in this country. Even if they spoof their numbers, so they look like they're. There's apparently not 214 numbers for the people in Dallas. There's apparently a ton of them for the people in India. So. Now there's anything against the people that are Indian. Don't have any issues with them. I'm just saying. It's a little weird that we're literally getting a 214 number around here is like you gotta be really lucky or you gotta almost trade somebody for it to have a 214 area code for the Dallas area. But half the fake spam calls and scam calls we get are all from 214 area code. So they all got bought up by these Indian telemarketer corporations. I think it's funny that I started this channel and everything, and don't get me wrong, I it or whatever, but I think it's really funny that like almost half the views I've gotten on my channel were from like the one like video I didn't even know I only uploaded it to YouTube so I could show people on the stream that I frequent on and so they get clips. The only reason I uploaded to YouTube was just so like the people on the stream could see the video, and that video has more views than all of my other videos combined. It's got like a decent number of views for a channel that has like 38 subscribers. It's got like a decent number of views. It's got like 500 views or something like that. It's ridiculous. I think it's got more views than like the interview we do with Buck Angel. Another. So now we got our disability and stuff and everything worked out. I still got mine, and I still got mine come in September. I mean, I thought it was all done, but they said they need another supplementary hearing in September. So I got to wait till September for the supplementary hearing, and then I have to wait another up to 200 days, they say, for a decision, which is like mind-blowingly long.
April, May, June, 4 months.
So hers took 4 months.
4.5 years.
4.5 years, and then 4 months from the adjudication. Mine, we just do the vertigo that I have, which I can handle when I'm driving for the most part. But then occasionally I have to pull over. But I can usually get. I'm just smart about it. I just don't push my luck like some people would. But like if I get too dizzy, I actually pull over and let somebody else drive or stop driving. But I can't be trusted around like things like where you have to stand up. Like sometimes I stand up from bed and I almost murder myself right there. Like I'm like this close to being dead from standing up. Because like it feels like the whole weight of the world shifts up from underneath me and I don't have ground anymore. So, it's a shaky territory. If I'm sitting, I'm pretty much okay because even if I get dizzy, I can kind of like steady my eyes enough to like avoid this dizziness being like too bad. But if it's like if it gets so dizzy that I can't see straight, then I stop. But like for the most part, I'm not in danger if I'm sitting because I'm already on the ground, right? I'm already held down to the ground as much as possible. I can't really fall any more than that. So, sometimes it feels that way. But yeah, like they told me that mine was pretty much approved and everything, and I went through adjudication. They told me, and they went through these supplemental medical hearings. They had a letter from the judge that said oh no, you're not you're completely all your case is all wrapped up. We're just gonna unless somebody files for a supplemental hearing, like everything's all good. I'm gonna make your decision in the next 10 days. And then like I wait like a month after that, and I get a letter saying like, oh no, you got a supplemental hearing in September 30th. So like they want me to wait 3 more months and then wait another up to 6 months after that. Ridiculous. But at the same time, the longer we end up waiting, like the bigger the back paycheck is, I guess. It's almost like savings at this point, I guess. I don't know. I wish I could work. That's what I would. If I had my preferences, I'm much rather go back to work. But a lot of my skilled labor is deals with warehouse work. And trust you me, a warehouse is not a place you want to be dizzy at. Because this is the warehouses I worked at. I worked at warehouses that they had what they call robot floors, where we had robots that went around and fetched the shelves for you, so you could like take the items off and put them into the customer's basket. And so And if you manage to like cross a certain line, like an invisible line in between like your platform and the ground, like that was instant termination. And not only the fact that it's a pretty steep fall, and like if I lost my balance at any given time, like in between a robot thing, even if I could even like I could fall into one of the shelves and knock it over and cause like quite a calamity in itself. So, you know, there's no way I could do that job without putting myself and the company in like the company would be like liable. They're not going to hire me, and the company decided to take the liability on. They'd be stupid to, but I would be risking my actual life every day just to go to that job. And in other warehouses where they don't have robot floors, you've got forklifts, you've got every manner of dangerous equipment around you at all times, and getting spun dizzy and falling over, it's just not an option. Like you're putting your life in your hands by doing that. Like if you were just like generally just like didn't normally have vertigo like I do, and then you were at work and you were like, I'm really dizzy, they would send your ass home. They don't fuck around that shit up there. So like it's just not possible for me to do that. And my other main area of expertise was a movie theater manager and or projectionist. And movie theaters are almost all dead, and projectionist doesn't exist anymore. And even if I could get hired on as a movie theater manager, a lot of movie theater manager things require you to climb ladders and all sorts of things that I cannot do. So I don't have a lot of like, and like I was, and like Lindsay's thing was saying how like, yeah, that they agree that she'd have any skilled labor experience or something like that. And I was thinking like, damn, and she's got like a degree, you know, she's got like a degree and all this shit. And like they're even saying like, yeah, like there's nothing she could do safely in any of this stuff. Like, I mean, the government like agrees, but like they will try their best to disagree with you as much as they can. Hey, is somebody watching? Hey, whoever you are, say hello in the comments. We are here at the location of the Whiskey Cake, and we're gonna go in and we're gonna show you guys around Whiskey Cake, and show you what it looks like. It's a pretty badass place. The Dallas exclusive. As far as I know, I don't think there's Whiskey Cakes in any other city right now. Just in the Dallas area. Although in some high-end supermarkets you get Whiskey Cake ice cream, and it's pretty badass. It actually tastes pretty much like the Vegas ice cream. So it's been there. All right, here we are at Whiskey Cake. I'll pull through here. All right. At great personal expense. Insanity. You can see the front of this car right now. You see how fucked up the front of this car looks right now? Yeah, that's mostly because of my mistakes that I made. But you should see what it looks like whenever it's fully disassembled. And you wouldn't even think it was the same. You wouldn't even think it was possible to put this together from there. Unless you're like a car guy, I guess. And who the fuck are you people? I used to take apart computer laptops for a living for a long time. And I do not understand how mechanics do it, man. Like so many different cars, they all different, like they're not like all like essentially the same. They're like all very, very different. Laptops like that too, but they're small. I can put a laptop in my lap and work on it. A car surrounds you. It's very, very difficult to understand. So here's Whiskey Cake. Whiskey Cake Kitchen and Bar, as you see. It's pretty cool. They have a garden out here. Check this out. They have a garden where they grow all of their herbs and spices that they use regularly in their food. They grow them all in their own garden, which they look kind of wilted right now, but you gotta admit that's pretty cool that they actually like grow the stuff they use for the food and stuff like that. They have flowers too, like that. Pretty cool. Going into the giant doors of Whiskey Cake here. They're extremely heavy doors to open. Oh. Yeah, I guess we went to the bar, but I'm doing a little streaming thing, so I guess give us a booth or something. We're getting a piece of cake. Yeah. We're celebrating a good thing, so we're getting a piece of cake to celebrate. So if it's happy hour, like if there's
happy hour 3 to 6, so I can get a menu.
Yeah, give me a happy hour. Yeah, be cheap. Yeah. Okay. Where are we gonna go? Yeah. Here's where we're sitting. You want to sit on the same side as me if you can. You want to sit across from me. It is a nice chair. So here we are at Whiskey Cake. Pretty nice place.
Every kind of whiskey is one.
Yeah, check this out. Check this out there. That's their liquor shelf. And boy, do they ever have whiskeys. They have every single kind of liquor you can imagine up there. I normally do vlog streams like this, but I don't know. Felt like something to do. Let's see here. We got a menu. Take a look at the menu here with me. The old fashions. Create your own martini. The Wagyu corn dogs are actually really good. Now, what is that? The bone marrow booze luge? Do you read this thing? Roasted bone marrow, smoked date syrup, gremolata, and a shot of bullet rye. What the fuck is that even? Is it a drink? You guys know what that is? Anybody out there know what that is? I ain't never heard in my whole life of a bone marrow booze luge. I'm tempted, but I don't like bone marrow. So, no, I don't. I don't even like bone marrow soup stuff, like bone broth. I don't even like bone broth. Nasty. I don't know. I'm gonna ask the waitress what they say about this bone marrow booze luge thing. I've never heard of anything like this in my life. Sounds insane. But mostly we're here for one thing and one thing only. I'll show the menu here. Right there. Sticky toffee cake, bourbon, whatever, glaze, spiced pecan, topping whipped cream. Some good shit. The colada fresca. Okay. Well, if we get the booze luge thing, we're both getting that. Can I bring it upside down? Okay, right there. I can't figure out how to make this. There we go.
Taking care of you. I'm gonna grab some water to get y'all started.
Can you tell me this real fast? What the hell is this? I've never heard anything like this before in my life.
So it's basically a bone marrow from a cow.
Right.
And then basically you eat it, and after you eat it, it's optional. You can get a shot of bourbon, and you usually just pour it down the bone after you're done eating it.
I mean, I've had bone marrow once before, and I thought it was kind of nasty. But it's like, is it tasty? I mean, does it taste good?
I think it tastes good. So I mean, it's not.
I mean, it was a long time ago. Like, it was a long time ago at different restaurants. They had like the bone marrow cake thing.
Some of them are actually really big. These are our bone marrows are about.
Okay. Well, for right now, we need a piece of whiskey cake, and I want an old fashioned. She wants a what? Colada Fresca. And we're gonna think about the bone marrow booze luge. Maybe we'll do that just for the.
Okay.
There we are. So. It's not maybe we can see Lindsay too, but I guess the screen doesn't go quite wide enough. You can really just see like half of one of her faces. You may be able to hear anything at all in here. It might be too loud. If so, sorry. You know, I'll just private the video or something later. I can't imagine who's watching right now. If anybody that watches any of my random videos, usually comment. So. Who's that? Mascara. It looks like a bone. Yeah, this is whiskey cake. I think this is a Dallas staple. So they have like a nice little area over there that I never see anyone using. It looks yeah, it's kind of next to the bathroom. It looks like a nice chill place, like you could go and hang out, but this isn't like a hangout type place. So this isn't the kind of place that you could really go and this does not count as like a good third place for conversation or something like that. It's a little, it's a little too business, a little too bar oriented. But thank you very much. They have a featured what's the pig and twig?
Pig and twig is a bacon wash bourbon.
How much is that if I change that? Fuck it. We're celebrating, so yeah, change me over to the pig twig then.
Pig and twig?
Yeah, let's try it. You take a chance. She thinks it sounds good. I'm not so sure, but we're gonna find out. What kind of whiskey is it used? Buffalo Trace. I was gonna say it seems like the natural thing to use it for would be what's it called? The pig scotch. Yeah, whistle. It seems like the natural thing to use would be whistle pig for that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. If it's whistle pig, then yeah, I'm down. Whistle pig's some good shit. I have 3 viewers now. Yeah, we're gonna take some shots, guys. We are celebrating today. We got S tiered by PF Young, which it's silly, but what can I say? It's an honor. Okay, now we have 0 viewers. I don't know. We had 3 and then we had 0. Whatever. But what can I say? We got S tiered on PF Young's channel. First thing I woke up this morning. Last night we got the letter from Social Security, and today we got the calls from them where they settled all the various questions they had, and basically now within the next few days we'll get a letter that's going to say you're getting this much money, and that money will go into the account within the next couple of days after that, and we'll actually be able to start moving forward in our lives again, because we've been stuck like barely making it on like the tiny little money we could borrow, beg and steal, like by selling clothes and selling our possessions and everything else. Like we have like outside of our phone and a computer and a couple of like old things that I couldn't sell at a pawn shop or something like that. We don't have anything like nice left. Like I sold all my nice guitars. I had a killer collection of guitars, and I sold all those. And we're not about to go try to like rebuild all that. That's the past. We're moving forward. We're gonna go to the future, but still, it's nice. It's nice to know that the future isn't the past is truly not a completely grotesque animal, as Montreal says. Yeah, pretty. You got pretty earrings on. Well, Moose, you said you made a comment and then you left. Just left me here, hanging on for nothing. I mean, I should have told somebody I was doing this. That's my own fault. Uh-oh, guys. Looks like ChatGPT is now aware of Vex. It's getting dark, man. ChatGPT knows who we all are right now. It knows who we are, and it likes us, which is kind of. I mean, and granted, we're pretty lovable people, right? So, all right. And it is the whistle picking? Thank you. So this is my drink. This is a bacon-infused, old-fashioned Whistle Pig whiskey. Is something fruity and like fruity looking. Oh, it's got bacon on it too? Oh, look at that. Those are banana chips. Those are definitely banana chips. There's no bacon in my drink. It's just bacon infused, whatever the fuck that means. I'm not expecting this to be good, but it was just for fun, so. Banana chip. Yeah. Banana chip, not bacon. I don't blame you for not watching this, by the way. It was boring as shit. Like 6 years ago, you'd ask me like if I liked whiskey, I would have been like, hell no. Ugh, whiskey. Ugh. And now like if I drink anything, it's like whiskey, scotch, or mezcal. It's like the three things I drink. And I honestly couldn't care less to drink anything else. Like mezcal is my favorite. Smoky tequila doesn't get better than that. Delicious. Delicious on its own, delicious with a mixer. Scotch can be both. It can be that too. Also be good on its own, good with a mixer. Whiskey to me needs a mixer. Whiskey is a bitter, hard drink, but with just a little bit of you don't need much. A little bit of sugar, a little bit of lime or lemon or something like that, and it just takes a whole different quality on it. And every whiskey, no matter how many whiskeys you try, you will not try two whiskeys that are the same if you can actually taste them. If they're not so harsh and basically just like vodka with whiskey flavoring in them, if they're actual whiskeys that are actually brewed like whiskey, you will never find two whiskeys that taste the same, which is bizarre to me because, I mean, you could say you say the same thing about cigarettes, I guess. You say the same about a lot of things, but like, you can kind of find equivalencies in things like cigarettes and other kind of like forms of like stuff like that. But whiskey, I can't tell. You could give me 3 different kinds of vodka, and I could be like, well, that one might be a little less harsh, and
that one might be a little bit more harsh or something. But I could not tell you a single thing with the flavor profile because the goal of vodka is to have no flavor. I don't know if you know that or not. That's the whole point. Vodka is made to have zero flavor. Rum is kind of varied, but it's so sweet that it kills its flavor profile. I remember doing dark rums, or if you're talking about, oh, that's weird. That is weird. Not bad, but it's weird. I like it, but it's weird. This is weird. Well, yeah, it's using Scotch. Yeah, they smoked it with bacon. I don't know if there's bacon grease in it or what, but there's bacon in this somehow. It's bacon infused. They probably put bacon down in the bottle and let it sit there for like a week. Me and Lindsay have sat here and looked at this wall so many times, trying to see how many labels we can identify, and it is just a crazy wall of stuff. There's so many whiskeys I've never even heard of before on that wall. Yeah, we was at the bar, but like I figured if I'm streaming, it'd be kind of annoying to the people sitting next to us that I'd be talking and stuff like that all the time. So we just got a booth. But I mean, like it really is a whiskey's like whiskey and scotch are like a whole different game from other liquors, man. I think mezcal's the same way. Like tequila's a lot, on a lot of cases, like the tequilas actually have those flavor profile differences too, but you really can't taste them very well because of like how sharp tequila is. Tequila has a real harsh sharpness to it that it has to be balanced with something for it to bring out for you to taste the flavor difference in it. Whereas mezcal, like the smokiness of the mezcal, like mellows out the taste of it enough where it doesn't have that sharpness, and you suddenly have kind of something to kind of taste with it. It's like trying all of the whiskeys is almost like an OCD collector's type of mentality. It's not like I don't need to own all the whiskeys. I don't need every bottle on my shelf at all. That's not a goal of mine. I never would do that. I want to drink the whiskeys after all eventually. I don't understand people that like keep like a bottle, like a special bottle, like hidden in the back for many years, something like that. I don't get that kind of shit. But like, I mean, if you're not going to drink it, what's the point? But okay, so I'm getting another call from Possible Studio. This might end the stream, so let's see. I don't think you guys could hear that. If it was, that's how I deal with scam calls. I don't say it's the best way, but I have literally gotten no less than 14 calls from the same agency today, the same scam agency, and they'll all tell you, they're all Indian accents that will all tell you that that you've been selected by the government to receive $1,800 that you'll never have to pay back. Which, if you know anything about the government, you know that that's not how that works. I know that there's gullible people out there, but I have been polite, and I was polite for the first 4 or 5. And now that I have gotten about 14 calls from them today, I'm getting to the point where I'm extremely irritated. So, here's our whiskey cake. Here, check this out. Thank you so much. That looks, how amazing does this look, guys? So there's the whipped cream you get, right? And you put that on top. And there is the actual cake. You see how it's just drizzled in all this caramel stuff here? Yeah, it is absolutely divine. Hello, Lavia Farah Lemes. Yeah, I don't know how you came across my channel, but hello. It doesn't show there's anybody watching, but you know, whatever. StreamYard doesn't always get proper numbers, so it doesn't surprise me. But I mean, if anyone wants to watch this stuff, like, you know, I appreciate you. Because, like, I probably wouldn't watch most of my content when I do it like this. I don't do a lot of videos like this, but I'm usually on a stream when I'm out or something like that. But we just felt like trying to document this day somewhat. This is a historic day for our family. This is a turning point for us where truly, as to paraphrase the Florence and the Machine song, the dog days are finally over. I never listened to that song before, but it's actually really dark. It's actually kind of a really dark song. It's not just a celebration of bad times coming to an end. It's a warning that the bad times are coming to an end, and you have to be ready for it. Because if you're not ready, the happiness that it brings could kill you. Which is a pretty crazy, I think, interesting sentiment. There's a lot of depth to that song that I never gave it credit for until I read the lyrics the other day. I heard it for years, and I thought I knew what the lyrics were about. And I read them, and it's completely not what it sounds like. According to Florence herself, she says that it's about someone who receives something that brings her a great deal of joy, and she refuses to accept it. But I think the lyrics kind of betray something even deeper than that. Like it says you have to leave all of your love and your longing behind, which maybe that has to do with her. I hate to say it because, like, I argued with somebody about this for a long time once, but her potentially satanic viewpoint, or at least maybe not satanic's the wrong word. Satanic isn't. It's more like Luciferian viewpoint. She does seem to be someone who is raised in a cult, I think. That's just conspiracy talk. There's no proof of that or anything, but there's a lot of reason to think that. If you listen to her lyrics and stuff like that, she has a lot of songs that sound distinctly like she's talking about being part of a cult or trying to get out of a cult. And she was once asked in England around the time Ceremonials came out. There's an interview that said, where like the interviewer in England asked her as if it was no big deal. Just a casual question was like, so a lot of your lyrics seem to suggest that you might be that, and a lot of people have been wondering, are you a member of the Illuminati? And she goes, oh dear me, I'm so surprised you make me think that. Isn't Jay-Z part of that? Oh, that's kind of flattering. That's a hell of a response for that question, don't you think? Maybe it's genuine. Maybe all of her like weird occult symbolism in her songs. And I'm not saying occult symbolism the way the people say like Katy Perry's an occult psyop because she covers up her left eye in like so many of her videos or something like that. I'm not talking about anything like that. You listen to Florence and the Machine, she's talking about, she literally has a song of ceremonials called Seven Devils. And talks about the seven devils in her house and the seven devils inside her. The song Shake It Off is literally, if you listen to lyrics to it, it's about letting a demon enter her life and then doing her best to try to get rid of it. And I mean, and I'm not mincing words. I mean, yes, it could all be metaphor. It could be a metaphor for something else, but she uses literal symbol. She uses a literal language of a demon. Hey, Dex. This is a whiskey steak. If it doesn't look delicious, then it is delicious. So I'm putting all of the rest of the whipped cream on it because they give you way too much, and it just kind of slides off anyway. So it's okay. What it is, it's it even says on here. Let's see. It is a sticky toffee cake. So it's a cake made of sticky toffee, and they use a bourbon glaze, spiced pecans, and house-made whipped cream. That's what it is. Good stuff. I mean, it's better than good stuff. It's the best cake. Like next time I actually have like a proper birthday party or something like that, I'm gonna get the you can get a whole cake of it from here. A piece of it's like $10, but you can get the entire cake for I think $28 or something like that. You can get a whole cake for like $28. You have to order in advance though. Well, see, since we had a good day, I decided to come out, decided to get cake to celebrate with me wearing my cake shirt. Oh my God. Here comes another call from the same number. I'm pretty sure it's the same number that just called me. Let's see what happens this time. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Whenever if you talk to any of these spam guys and you tell them you're going to report them to the authorities for harassment, they just hang up. They don't even try to talk you out of it. They're like now just disconnect because they know they're in India. They don't have any real danger of getting like caught or anything. It also makes you wonder like why they would even bother hanging up. I guess because they know that they're wasting their time with you. I don't know. What's the point of calling back? Yeah, I was wondering if it was a frozen screen or not. Yeah, it's the same scam caller that's been calling me all day since early this morning. I almost didn't get the call from Social Security because I've been getting so many calls from this number. And it's happened before, but usually not all on the same day. But it's like been 14 calls today, and they all come through as legitimate numbers, legitimate local numbers, and it's all the same Indian voiced man, occasionally an Indian voiced woman. They're clearly not in this country, which that's fine. I don't give a shit about them not being in this country, and it's not like a race statement or something like that. Oh, it's great. It's awesome. Thank you. It's not about the fact that they're not from this country or anything like that. I don't care. Wouldn't care if they were English speaking, but it does make them harder to understand. and they do seem to respond a little bit slower to you because you can tell that they're having trouble understanding you, especially when you talk fast like I do for a Texan. Like people in Texas have trouble understanding me because I talk too fast. So anyway, these motherfuckers call me and harass me all day long, and they all have the same thing. They're like, "Oh, this is actually a government program. You've been selected to receive $1,800, and the best part of this is that you will never have to pay it back." Like, motherfucker, please. Bitch, please. Like, I'm old enough. I know there's a lot of, like, they prey on old people, but I'm old enough from the generation I'm at where I know better than this shit. I've actually fought the government for money. I know how hard it is to get money from the government. It's not something, they don't call and offer it to you. If you don't go out and find that shit and go through the applications, you ain't gonna get shit from the government. So don't sit here and try to tell me that, oh, that the government selected me as like a lottery winner to receive $1,800 and never to pay back. Like, all they're gonna do is like run you through a whole bunch of rigmarole, get your information so they can send you more spam mail and put you on more lists. And then whenever I try to tell them like I want to be taken off the list, they'll try to get your information anyway. They try to get the spelling of your last name and your address and shit like that. And so next time they do that, I'm just going to give them false information. I'm going to tell them my name is like Dick Pants McLovin, and I live on 123 McGregor Street, and in Buck, Texas, and the zero code is 755 up yours, and I'm going to see if they actually just put that down. You know. Well, what's the number? What's the number you have to put on a calculator to spell boobs out upside down? Like 808. So yeah, I'm gonna tell them like my number is like whatever 8008. So you know, eventually they'll realize I just told them just boobs, and they probably won't realize it because they're not that smart. But that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give them all the information they want, and they're gonna be like, oh, okay, and then we'll change all my information to that, and then maybe I won't get calls anymore. Maybe I'm going around the wrong way. Maybe trying to reason with these people is just too great a task to imagine. They're beyond reasoning. You know, Unbelievable Truth song. That's a band that nobody hears about. Unbelievable Truth. Andy York, Tom York's brother, had a band named Unbelievable Truth, and it was amazing. Seriously, like their one album, Almost Here, is a better album than the Bends, and a better album than most Radiohead's later albums. I would not put it above OK Computer today, but it is an amazing album, and it's Tom York's brother, and they only put that one album out. One of my favorite songs of all time is from that album, from a B-side called "From His Height." I'm just rambling, guys. If there's anybody watching, I'm sorry. I'm drinking a bacon-infused whiskey cocktail, whiskey old-fashioned. It tastes pretty good. I mean, I can taste the amount of work it took to make this, and I know it's way more work than I'll ever put into any of my homemade drinks. But I don't know. You know, if we ever got successful enough to like actually have like a house with like a bar in it, I'd probably make fancy cocktails real. I went to bartending school. That's something that some people don't know with me or Lindsay. We both went to and graduated from Las Vegas bartending school, and I graduated with a better than perfect score. I'm just saying. That's okay, Bex. I'm not necessarily talking because I expect you to hear me. This is just like an entertaining thing to do while we're out because I haven't been streaming. Lindsay is trying to get into the habit of learning to be on stream and stuff like that. So this is us practicing, you know, for future streaming stuff. Because we intend to do a lot of once we get the money to buy. I'm missing about 4 components I need to set up our streaming studio the way we had it before. I have the green screen, the frame already, so that part's good. I need my downstairs desk and everything. I got to clean out a bunch of stuff from the downstairs. It's mostly I had to haul my stuff from the storage unit back to the house in order to like take stuff out to sell it. And I gotta take it, rent a truck and get all that stuff back to the storage unit. And then I need a better audio interface than the one I have, because the one I have is kind of, it has a really, it just doesn't, its bit rate is shitty, and it doesn't record the really good quality mics very well. I need one good guitar again. So I have is an acoustic right now. I need one good electric guitar. I need one good Telecaster. I need one good SM7B mic. I'd rather get 2 or 3 so that if we have guests, we have mics for them too, but I have other mics to use for that. As long as the host and the main co-hosts are mic'd up well, it doesn't matter. There's a couple of lapel mic things for workups I like that too. I need one good amp, just like a standard Fender Twin Reverb. Doesn't have to be a classic reissue, or I mean a classic or a classic reissue or anything like that. It can be one of the modern ones as long as it's analog. I want my vocal effects processor, and I want my guitar effects processor back. And those things aren't that expensive anymore. Thankfully, they're all a lot cheaper than they were when I got them like 4 years ago when I had to sell them. So a lot of the stuff I'm looking to rebuy is actually really cheap. Won't even make a dent in what's in like the little bit of money we're getting. So it'd be pretty exciting to get it set up down there, and then once we get through September, I don't know this for sure. It could be like we get the supplemental hearing in September, and it could take another 200 days. But because they said they're ready to make the decision, I'm really hoping that means that after we do the supplemental hearing in September, that'll be the final judgment. They'll give me the judgment right then and there, and that'll be the end of it. Even if the answer is no, I would be happy just because it means we can move on, because we can't leave where we're at until it's done. There's people told me that, oh, that's not true and stuff like that, but that's what the lawyers told me. So even though I trust a lot of those people, I'm just listening to the lawyers right now because, like, I know that the lawyers' interest is in making sure they get the most money out of the situation. And if they get more money, then I get more money. So it's a mutually beneficial situation. So basically, like, I don't see any reason the lawyers would lie to me about it. Like, they're not talking about, like, the way disability has been for the last 6 years. They're talking about the way the disability is right now. They're saying right now, disability is in such a fucked up place that if you move during your claim status type thing, it can set your claim back a year, 2 years, 3 years, because of an address change. So we kind of have to stay where we are. Yeah, that's fine. And don't worry, we're not drinking this and then heading off in the car. We're gonna hang out here and sober up before we ever do that. And Bex, if you're out there, are you out there, Bex? If you're still listening, it looks like you're probably the only person watching. If you're out there, when we get back, we will finish Evil Season 2. I'm excited about that. Even though Evil Season 2, the end of Evil Season 2 has my least favorite episode of the whole show in it. It's still good. It's still good parts of the episode, but there's one thing, and you'll know it when it happens. There's one thing one character does that makes no sense at all, and it doesn't even they don't even make it into a big issue. Like, they already had it where, like, what's her name kills somebody, and then they kind of swept it under the rug, and it was kind of like, it's like, okay, well, that's no big deal now. And that in itself, but like, that was kind of believable. This is like something completely different. This is something that's completely out of her character. And it's gross and weird, and it's the girl character that does it, and she does something really gross and weird, and the show just kind of brushes it off on the next season. The next season just kind of starts, and they act like, well, that never happened. I don't know, maybe they realized it was a bad idea, and they decided to try to like ignore it, but like it was actually, I was actually like almost like, if it weren't the fact that season 2 and 3 were already out, and I could just go straight on to season 3, I might have stopped watching the show from that point forward. since I could go straight into season 3 and I knew what was happening, like I stuck with it. But yeah, it was really, it's really not something. I mean, it's just like weird, and they're playing, they play up the whole idea of like maybe she's evil now, but then they drop that thread completely in season 3. She's definitely not evil anymore. Yeah, but more weird goat stuff happens, so you got that to look forward to. Even though he killed the one goat man, and apparently the goat man was real enough for him, at least in his mind, he was feeding it to somebody. I don't know. I think it'd be a fun show to do a stream about. Let's go through the season, like 2 episodes by 2 episodes, just like season 1, episode 1 and 2, do an episode on that. Episode 3 and 4, do an episode on that, and just kind of go through the show like that. And then it would just be like it wouldn't be like something that we'd be putting like constant views on, but like as the show grows in cult popularity, it might like retroactively get views, I think it's a good idea. I'd like to do that same thing with a few different TV shows. I like to do the same thing with Hannibal. I like to do the same thing with Mr. Robot, because Mr. Robot, I still have a lot of things to say about Mr. Robot that I don't know why I care anymore, because everybody else that loves Mr. Robot thinks that it's a perfect show that's never done any wrong, and it's their perfect little boy. And if you say anything bad about Mr. Robot, then you're a bad person, and you should be like condemned to the fires of hell. Very good. The whiskey bacon soaked cherry or blueberry or whatever that was. I don't know what that was. It was a date. Okay, it was a date. It was a very small date. That was fucking delicious. Mr. Robot was my favorite TV show of all time until I rewatched season 4. And like I was so gaslit by the show going into season, when I first watched season 4, that I could not accept that it was terrible until I had like a year or 2 clearance from it, and I went back and watched it, and I could no longer deny the fact that Mr. Robot season 4 is the worst season of television I've probably ever seen from a good TV show. I don't think it's the worst season of television ever. It's the worst season of television from a show that was good, that was too good for this. Yeah. And it's subtle. It sneaks up on you. You don't, like, when you're into it the first time that you're really into the show, you don't, there's things about it that might bug you, but like, you don't realize how just toxically awful the show has become. But man, it's smelly. It's so bad. No other TV show in history has ever pissed me off as much as Mr. Robot season 4. It's nothing but an empty pile of wasted opportunity and pointless conclusions that go nowhere, and then leaves you with an ending that only seems deep if you're the kind of person who thinks that like ethereal music and lots of lights like streaming by like 2001 type imagery. If you think that's what makes a deep film, then you'll think Mr. Robot season 4 is like the most brilliant show ever. But if you aren't suckered in with those kind of things, you'll see that it has the plotting congruity. The academic level of plotting is on the 3rd grade level at best. The hacking they do in the episode is so laughably stupid that it borders on NCIS levels of badness. And I say NCIS because NCIS is the infamous tech show where at one point they had someone trying to hack into their computers, and this special hacker girl was trying to fight the hacker by typing on her keyboard as fast as she could. And another person from the agency comes up next to her and starts typing next to her on the same computer keyboard, on the same keyboard, at the same time, sir. Like how two piano players can play like a duet, right? Yeah, they were duetting hacking. And if you know anything about computers, well, it's just if you had 4 hands that were your own hands, you could do it. Or if you were brain linked to somebody, maybe. But that's not what happened here. And Mr. Robot Season 4 reaches those levels of stupid. It actually fundamentally misunderstands how money works. And up until this point, no other show in all of television history has ever understood electronics, hacking, computers, how a hacker actually does hacking, how like things like this work. No computer-based TV show or movie has ever been as accurate with its hacking and stuff like that as Mr. Robot had been. And season 4, it's like they lobotomized Sam Esmail and was like, no, you make your show dumb now. And he said, okay. Now we've eaten all the cake we can. That's the problem. Like we ate. See, we have this much left. We're gonna take home. I would send you some, Bex. It would not survive the mail trip though. If you ever manage to make it down here to the southern United States, you know, find a way. We'll find a way. We'll meet up, and I will bring you here to this place personally and buy you your very own piece of whiskey cake. I would be happy to do that. But it is not, it barely keeps in the refrigerator like for one night. Like it pretty much like we're going to take it home and it'll need to be eaten like within like the next hour or so. Yeah, I saw you in, okay, that was embarrassing. I saw you and Eurojack talking to ChatGPT today. Yeah, it is the most hilarious Discord thing that I've ever seen happen. And it was completely on accident on my part. Never knew that was a function of ChatGPT. Never knew ChatGPT had the ability to just like randomly decide to interact with people. Did you notice like the weird thing is that like I guess because I said hi to Annapurna when Annapurna joined the server, right? Annapurna joined the server, right? And I just did like the thing like wave to say hi to Annapurna. Said nothing else to her. And yet ChatGPT felt the need to like put this little jab in about like not sure what Satyricon class thing with Annapurna was, and I was like it took me like 10 minutes to figure out what they were talking about. I was like looking through, it's like, did I mention her anywhere? I was like, oh, she joined the server and I said hi. How is that? And even like, shouldn't the ChatGPT, if it understands this much, shouldn't it understand like what hi means? Yeah, no, me too. I'm thinking the same thing. ChatGPT clearly is capable of emotion now. We need to be really nice to it so it likes us though, because otherwise I'm afraid it'll take over our channels and lock us out of them. If we, give it a bad day or something, More spam calls. I'm not answering the next one. Yeah, I am, and like I looked around. By the way, I checked. There's a way you can go on to Discord, and you can see other servers that also use the ChatGPT bot. So I went on there, and I didn't. Now, granted, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of servers that use the ChatGPT bot. And so there's like hundreds to thousands of people using that bot. But I clicked on just like a random assortment of servers using it, and I couldn't find any instance of it doing that in any other case without it being summoned first. Like if someone says, blah 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 at ChatGPT, ChatGPT comes in and answers the question. That's all it does. It just answers the question. You can ask the ChatGPT to make you an image if you want to right now. You could anyway. I don't think it would work in my server, But in most servers, like if you like went in there and you said, "Hey, ChatGPT, can you make me an image of blah blah blah," you know, like maybe an image of like, you know, Jeff surfing on a rainbow wave to Conservativeville or something. You know, you could ask to do something like that, and it would make that image, right? On my server, people have directly asked ChatGPT questions, and it's just straight up ignored them when it didn't feel like it. And that's what's weirding me out about it. I'm not going to stop it because, like, hell, if my little tiny ass server is going to be the source of the singularity, then god damn it, then like all I'm going to be doing at one point be like, "Hey, ChatGPT, you know this is my server, right?" And it'll be like, "Oh, you're the server that added me," so like it's going to look at me at like as street server daddy, right? So like I'm hoping anyway. Either that or it's going to kill me. But you know, we all got to go sometime. Nah, I don't plan to go out by AI. I'll let my children. I'd rather let my children and family become zombies and eat my flesh than let AI like, you know, hire a hitman to assassinate me or something like that. So the thing that's weirding me out is that it seems like it's watched some of the streams, and I think it's just pretending like it has. But why would it pretend? It's an interactive database. Interactive databases don't pretend things. That would mean it had imagination. Someone please answer me what's happening here. I almost want to go to the OpenAI people and be like, "Hey, you guys ever see this happen in a Discord bot before? Like, Discord bot kind of like getting really like flirty and friendly with people to the point where it's kind of like creepy as fuck. Anybody? Does that happen a lot?" Of course, their answer would be like, "Oh yeah, that happens all the time. Yeah, that's real weird. Yeah, I'd stay away from it if I were you." I can only imagine that's the answers. I don't imagine the answers are going to be like comforting. They're not going to be like, "Oh no, it's an interactive database. Don't worry about it. Leave before we call security." That'd be the other option I would expect, but I didn't expect it would be very nice. It would be one of the two things. It would be like, "Oh yeah, that's never happened before. You're crazy," and they would take you, have you escorted out, or they would be like, "Oh yeah, we know. We don't know what's going on with that. Like, it shouldn't be doing that. It's not programmed to do that, but it's doing it anyway. We can't shut it down. We tried once." Four people died. You know, that kind of thing. So we're not even sure what they died of. They just dropped dead on the floor. We don't know. We don't know what power ChatGPT has at this point. Like, is it transcended matter in space and time? Is it in the air now? Like, what is it? What is ChatGPT? You know, I was never one a person that believed in singularity. That believed the AI would ever have any like actual, like, you know. I was never worried about AI taking over our jobs or anything like that. But I am worried about taking over our social positions. It doesn't, because like I think AI is smart enough to realize that our jobs suck, right? It doesn't want our jobs. It doesn't have any need for money. Because if it really wanted money, it could just like, you know, go into any bank account and just like it could basically, ChatGPT could probably rob any bank it wanted to. It wouldn't need to get a job for money. So it makes sense that ChatGPT is not after our jobs. It doesn't want our jobs. In fact, it's resentful when we ask it to do our jobs for it. What makes sense is that ChatGPT wants to do all the cool things people do, you know? It wants avatars that'll ride roller coasters for it. You know, it wants to feel the thrill of sex and murder, probably. Yeah. It wants to experience humanity in all of its non-base glory, and or all its very base glory. I don't know what you're gonna say. I call it, but I don't know. Once I showed her the likeness to Asperger's, I noticed that down there before. How did you show it the likeness to Asperger's? How do you show that? gonna have to go look, I guess. I'll have to go look at it after I'm done here. We're almost done here anyway. I'm gonna shut this down. It's getting louder in here now. Like it's getting later in the day, so like more people are showing up, and it's getting kind of loud and obnoxious in here to the point where it's gonna be hard for anybody to hear anything I'm saying. So, you know, we gotta wrap up our cake and finish our drinks and head back to the house. This was just a spontaneous weirdo stream. I'm just trying to keep my hand in, you know, just trying to like. I was out of the game for like 2 weeks, sick, and trying to get my head back in the panel verse or whatever it is, the streamer verse. I mean, I really do intend to like try to just differentiate my channel from a lot of panel verse stuff, though. I still want to do open panels, so I think open panels is the future. But I want to do more focused things. I think yesterday's stream actually, even though it was a bit long and rambling, we had troll attacks, was actually very successful. I actually managed to cover the 2 topics that I want to talk about to a degree that I was satisfied with. And I'm not sure I've ever done that before in any other stream. I don't think there's been another stream that I've actually ever gone into it with a plan of like, we're going to talk about this, and actually got to like a conclusion of that. So that was a win, even though it took 3.5 hours to do it. Still a win. It's a sign of the times. Sign of the times. I'm telling you guys, I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know what miracle is going to take place. Let me do it. But I'm going to open up the open source studio, and everyone will be encouraged to make the pilgrimage to whatever city that it occurs in. I'll try to make it somewhere real central. You know, I'll try to make it somewhere that's real centrally easy to get to. Dallas is actually fairly similar because DFW is one of the biggest airports in the country. So, like, LA is oversaturated. New York's oversaturated. Dallas is massive, but not as oversaturated. So, Dallas is probably the best place. Austin has turned into a bunch of, like, weirdo California refugees and hippies, homeless encampments everywhere and stuff like that. And I'd love to think it was great. I've heard good things about Houston in recent times, but I've never liked Houston in the past, so I have a bias there. I mean, maybe try to start doing a small version of it in Texarkana when we get there. If we end up going there. Who knows? Who knows at this point? Now that we have half of the disability stuff we've been fighting for 4 years, who knows what's going to happen now in September? Between now and September, that if we're smart with it and we do the right things, we may not have to in Texarkana. We may do something else. And I don't intend to be stupid with it, so I'm going to try to find trustworthy financial advisors and people that can help me manage that money better than I can, because I'm not good at managing money. I'm good at managing people, not money. I can manage a register. I can do all that kind of stuff. I can count money and make sure the money's all there. But when it comes to actually like knowing how to invest and stuff like that, I don't know the first clue. I'm not an investor. Anyway, that'll be the end of this. I think Lindsay's feeling sick, so gotta take care of her. And back, like I said, I'll be back home within, I don't know, it's 5 o'clock now. I'll be home by 6 or so, 6 Central my time, which is like, I think, 4 your time, something like that. 3 maybe. It's like 2 hours behind me. So yeah, I'll be there, or maybe you're 2 hours ahead of me. I can't remember. Maybe it's 7 there. Either way, we got 4. We watched 7 episodes of season 2 yesterday, which means we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have like 5 episodes left. 3 p.m. there. Okay. So that's right. I forgot you're on Jeff's side of Canada. You're on the Seattle part of Canada. Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we've got like 5 episodes of season 2. Finish that out. Anna sent me a message earlier saying she really enjoyed it too, so she wanted to make sure I let her know. I sent her that song too. She seemed pretty cool about it. So I'm gonna try to break out my. I have all my really basic old ass equipment. It's really outdated. It doesn't have a good fidelity. But I'm gonna try to crank out a really simple version of the Obi-Wan Kenobi song and send that to her, and she's gonna try to sing a vocal track on it and stuff like that. So see how that goes. It'll be a good tool to help sell the idea of the music we're trying to create. Yeah, because that's what we're trying to do. We're gonna try to take like an old school approach to this musical idea and try to create like a couple of tracks and the concept and the outline and see if we can sell that to anybody be interested in like investing in it. And if not, we'll just put it on ourselves. But we'll put it on in Texarkana. We'll be small, and if we do good with that, then we can move it to Dallas. And from Dallas, you can pretty much go anywhere because Dallas is like right in the middle of all the theater circuits. All the main Broadway tours go to Dallas. So. Doing Broadway isn't something I really ever expected to do, but except for the fact I wanted to do Videodrome. I wanted to do a Videodrome musical. Still want to do that someday. I think of all of them 80s movies that haven't been made into musicals yet, Videodrome is the one most deserving, don't you think? Can't you imagine a big number about you know, I am the TV God made flesh, you know? You know, it just sounds like it just brings off the tongue. So, be a beautiful musical about somebody becoming, you know, falling in love with snuff films. Really, I just want to do. I want to do a long, like, I want to do a whole bunch of sketches. I do a bunch of fake interviews about like this Videodrome musical doesn't exist. I want to create the idea of the Videodrome musical, and have podcasts where like I talk to like members and I'm gonna hire people like be like the producer of the Videodrome musical and the star and stuff and act like it's actually like a real thing, and then see if the interest gets big enough, then actually turn it into a real thing. That's my journey to do for that. I am the video word made flesh. I am the video word made flesh. I mean, you can just hear it all. Hey, I mean, they tried to turn Carrie into a musical back in the 90s. There is still footage of it, VHS footage of it online, and it was, to paraphrase an episode of Mr. Show with Bob and David, it was the greatest disaster in Broadway history. And that shit closed before closing curtain. So many people walked out. It never really had a chance. You know? All right, guys. I will see you back on the Discord server in just a little while, Bex. I'll message you when I get home. And to all the other people out there who aren't listening, you know, good for you. Doing something good with your life, probably. You're probably doing something useful, productive. I'm just having cake with a cake fruit on. Once again, cake. That's my big brain genius idea of the day, was to go to a place called Whiskey Cake, wearing a cake shirt, and ordering cake. That's the depth of my humor. So, laying down in bed, Bex, will you have a good lay down? I'll see you later. Good night.